Why did God stop the construction of the Tower of Babel? The story of the Tower of Babel is found in the book of Genesis. Okay, so after the great flood, all the people in the world had one language, and they were all living together in the land of Shinar, which is most likely modern-day Babylonia. And they started to build a city and a really tall tower whose top would reach the heavens. They wanted to make a name for themselves and not be scattered across the earth. So they started to build this tower out of bricks and mortar, which shows that they had some pretty advanced technology for the time. Now, God saw what they were doing and was like, "Oh no, they're getting too powerful. I need to knock them down a peg." So while they were building this tower, God came down and he started to confuse their language. He made it so that they couldn't understand each other anymore. So they couldn't communicate or build anything else together. So they left the city and the tower unfinished, and they went off in different directions across the earth. And that's why we have different languages today, and that's why we can't all get along. It's because of the Tower of Babel. But seriously though, like the story explains, how humans went from being one big happy family to being scattered across the earth with different languages and not being able to understand each other. Some people believe that the story is a warning to not get too ambitious, or to not try to reach the heavens without God, because that's how you get the confusing language and the unfinished tower. The story also teaches us that diversity isn't a bad thing, and that different languages and cultures can come together in harmony. The tower itself has been interpreted as a symbol of human pride, rebellion, and the desire for power and glory without God. Some scholars believe that the story was written down in the 6th century BC, during the Babylonian exile, when the Jewish people were living in Babylon and they were yearning for their home in Jerusalem. The story could be seen as a way to explain why they were exiled, and also a way to cope with their loss of independence. And lastly, in Islam, there is a similar story in the Quran about Pharaoh building a tower to challenge God, but the details are a bit different. According to Quran, the Islamic tradition believes that the builders of the Tower of Babel were giants who lived in the time of Prophet Noah, and they built the tower as an act of defiance against God after the flood. But regardless of the differences, the stories share a common theme of people trying to reach the heavens and God's intervention to stop them. But the lesson here is that when we live a life without God as our leader, things tend to go wrong for so many different reasons, and to not be prideful in every day of our lives, but be humble and recognize that God is in control. This has been History Under 3 Minutes. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.